major institutions that we rely on. This is peeling back a curtain that we have never seen done before at this level of granularity.
What's the deal with aliens? It's difficult to completely rule out the existence of other intelligent life forms because space is such a vast and mysterious frontier about which we know so little. Considering that life has developed and adapted to survive in some of Earth's harshest environments, just look at tardigrades. It's reasonable to assume that other interplanetary life forms have done the same. Meanwhile, Edward Snowden now has access to some of the most closely kept secrets in the country as a former CIA employee and NSA contractor. And so, as any inquisitive mind with access to the CIA's equivalent of Google might do, he looked for solutions to some of the most important questions asked by society. Attention Area 51. Stormers, chemtrail believers, and doubters of climate change. Edward Snowden has discovered information regarding UFOs that should worry us all. What evidence does Edward Snowden have? Are there really aliens and should we be afraid of them? Let's find out. Imagine what it might be like to encounter an advanced extraterrestrial species that discovered us and landed on Earth. The vast majority of extraterrestrial representations in films like War of the Worlds and Independence Day feature malice, brutality, and the obliteration of any rivals from other galaxies. Our imaginative depiction of aliens portrays them as aggressive, egotistical, and completely indifferent to humans, whether they enslave us, kill us, or devour us. Many brilliant people, including Stephen Hawking, David Brin, and Elon Musk, are afraid of this outcome. However, there is absolutely no proof that aliens are malicious in any way. In fact, given the evidence already in existence, keeping our presence hidden from extraterrestrial life may be the worst choice humanity has ever made. Why are people nowadays so eager to accept the possibility of extraterrestrial life? There is a good chance that we have neighbors somewhere in the ether, because many findings and speculations from some of the brightest minds in science suggest that there is likely something beyond us in the universe. Commander David Fravor can still not understand how a training mission in San Diego on November 14, 2004, turned into something he will never forget. Fravor recalls witnessing a tic-tac-shaped item that moved considerably more quickly than any existing known weaponry. "We're flying brand new Super Hornets. It was an air defense exercise. 2 good guys against 2 bad guys," Fravor said in a History Channel video interview. It was an air defense drill. Up until the USS Princeton requested Fravor and colleagues for a practical mission, everything appeared to be as usual. Fravor and the other pilots soon noticed something peculiar after changing course. What seemed to be a sunken jet or submerging submarine swimming wildly just below the water's surface. "It's white. It has no wings. It has no rotors. I go holy. What is that?" Fravor said. The UFO reportedly lacked windows, and infrared detectors failed to detect any exhaust fumes. Fravor claims that shortly thereafter, his curiosity got the better of him, and he made the decision to take a closer look. The craft emerged, rose quickly, and started to mimic Fravor's flying pattern as he started to fall toward the water. Then, in a split second, it sped past the jet's nose and vanished. Fravor and the other pilots told the rest of the crew about their experiences when they returned to the USS Nimitz. A second pilot soon after took off in search of the UFO and was successful. This pilot successfully managed to get a lock on the tic-tac. The Navy maintains the public was never supposed to view the tape in the first place, but it has now officially published it, after it had already been leaked. In November 1944, a number of the Air Force, witnessed the group that would later be called Foo Fighters, a moniker derived from the Smokey Stover comic strip. The Foo Fighters were characterized as a form of enigmatic aircraft that blazed red and had great agility when zipping and turning through the air. The first person to see the lights was Lieutenant Fred Ringwald, who just so happened to be a passenger in a night fighter flying above the Rhine Valley. 8 to 10 of the aircraft were reportedly lined up in a row, according to airmen. The party checked with the ground radar crew because they were worried they might be hostile aircraft, but they hadn't noticed anything unusual. As one of the pilots prepared to engage in combat, he turned his aircraft around only to discover that the lights had disappeared as swiftly as they had emerged. But the sightings continued after that. A different pilot reported seeing a T-shaped display of flashing red and green lights in the middle of December 1944. These lights vanished just as quickly as they emerged. There were a number of such sightings that followed, and despite attempts to explain them, the airmen were experiencing combat fatigue. The lights were caused by some strange weather phenomenon, or they originated from some brand new, groundbreaking Nazi technology. They still remain a mystery. Furthermore, Avi Loeb, a prominent astronomer who taught at Harvard and served as the department's chair, has proposed an intriguing but outlandish theory. He claims that the asteroid Oumuamua is actually space debris from an alien construction or a crashed alien spacecraft. This might sound crazy coming from anyone else, but once more, Loeb is knowledgeable about the workings of space. The Oumuamua theory is being embraced by truthers, but Loeb's colleagues are furious that he has proposed what they are calling an insult to honest scientific inquiry. According to research published in March 2021 by astronomers from Arizona State University, the object is a nitrogen iceberg that has broken off from a planet similar to Pluto in a far-flung star system. It would somewhat account for how reflective the item is. Loeb argued in opposition, saying that the chunk would have needed to form on a planet with an unreasonably high density. Therefore, the verdict is still out on this mystery space object. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP, which the Department of Defense, DoD, established in 2007, was designed to investigate space-related phenomena that were difficult to understand and frequently involved the emergence of fast, unidentified aircraft. Luis Elizondo, a military intelligence official, oversaw the secret initiative that attempted to look into UFO contact allegations. Elizondo left the Pentagon 10 years later and told the New York Times that AATIP existed. In addition, Carl Sagan and Jill Tarter, two astronomers who think there may be life on other planets besides Earth, formed the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence SETI Institute. The SETI Institute, which collaborates with NASA and the National Science Foundation as a research contractor to pool resources and investigate the possibility of intelligent life on other planets, has as its mission to explore, understand, and explain the origin and nature of life in the universe and the evolution of intelligence. SETI employs a laser detection system in addition to optical and radio wave signals to search for indications of extraterrestrial technology. Yes, there is a whole scientific community dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. NASA announced on March 21, 2022, that there are over 5,000 exoplanets. As technology to explore the farthest reaches of space advances, we may expect this number to rise. This implies that there are countless known planets that haven't been thoroughly examined, and a number of others that are still undiscovered, but may contain settings capable of supporting life. Who is to say that intelligent extraterrestrial life doesn't already exist on one or more exoplanets? The likelihood that we are not alone increases as we discover more about the cosmos. The question, is there anyone out there, arises because the entire cosmos is filled with worlds and we are becoming better listeners, to which we might have an answer shortly. But do we even care to find out? Is it more likely that aliens exist and are either peaceful explorers or violent planet killers? This is no longer just a science fiction subject. An increasing number of astronomers are actively seeking answers. Some people think we should broadcast an interstellar signal to check if any extraterrestrials contact us here on Earth. Some people think we should keep Earth all to ourselves. Edward Snowden said in a podcast conversation with astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson that alien communications may be so securely encrypted that humans trying to eavesdrop on extraterrestrials would not know what they were hearing. According to Snowden, the period in which unencrypted messages are the norm is really brief. So if you have an alien civilization trying to listen for other civilizations, or our civilization trying to listen for aliens, there's only one small period in the development of their society where all of their communications will be sent via the most primitive and most unprotected means, he explained. But those holding out hope for contact from extraterrestrials can relax. According to researchers at the SETI Institute, which is devoted to the hunt for life in the universe. Humanity's current search for alien intelligence does not depend on an understandable message. For them, finding the medium is the real hunt. According to Seth Shostak, head of the SETI Institute's Center for SETI Research, we're not looking for the message. As the search team put it, we're looking for the signal that tells us somebody has a transmitter. Fair enough. Snowden was babbling about encryption in general. It's unlikely he meant to be conversing about aliens or had done an in-depth study of how the quest for extraterrestrial intelligence has progressed. Shostak argued that data encryption was irrelevant. Because of its convenience and low cost, radio has been the primary tool in the search for extraterrestrial communications thus far. According to Shostak, the SETI Institute employs Earth's huge radio telescopes to look for narrowband communications. The civilization we contact would not necessarily have our best interests in mind, says Adler planetarium astronomer Lucian Walkowitz. However, there could be significant upsides to this. It could be the thing that kills off all life on Earth, or it could be the thing that speeds up the progress toward a better quality of life here. We can't possibly know that. Like many other astronomers, Walkowitz is undecided on the matter, but she believes there should be a discussion among all scientists. The Breakthrough Initiatives, a philanthropic organization dedicated to interstellar outreach and funded by billionaire Russian tech mogul Yuri Milner, is likely to ignite that discussion in the near future with its Breakthrough Message program, which would seek ideas from all over the world to create a message to aliens and figure out how to send it. Outreach for the program may begin soon, according to Pete Worden, the director of the Breakthrough Initiatives. We're well aware of the debate. Do you send things or not? There's a pretty vigorous opinion on both sides of our advisory panel. It's a very useful exercise to begin considering how to respond. What's the context? What best represents the people on Earth? This is an exercise for humanity, not necessarily about what we would send. The advisory panel's members have stated that the best message would be conveyed through an image and the possible 2,000 words it contains. The following query is more technical in nature. Given that you have an image or images, how should you best encrypt them such that they may be received? Breakthrough Message will work on those specifics, such as how to send the pictures, whether via radio or laser transmitters. How to send it with high fidelity, so it is not rendered unreadable due to interference from the interstellar medium. Which light wavelengths to use, or whether to spread a message across a wide spectrum. How many times to send it, and how often. And a myriad of other technical concerns. For example, Philip Lubin of the University of California, Santa Barbara, has published research detailing a laser array that could theoretically broadcast a signal throughout the observable cosmos. The $100 million Breakthrough Listen project is looking for any signs of life in neighboring star systems, including exoplanets out to a few hundred light-years distant. Breakthrough is also figuring out where to deliver such a message, Worden continues. Vakauch said that Edward Snowden's speculation about encryption could present challenges for people looking for extraterrestrial life hundreds or thousands of years from now. On the other hand, technology might advance sufficiently in the next few hundred years so that eavesdropping over mind-bending long distances might be possible. Encryption is a problem, but it's not the largest one for human listeners. Another civilization wouldn't even need to worry about encryption if it wanted to hide its identity, according to Vakauch. When it comes to telecommunications, as they are evolving on Earth, we have historically been noisy, with a lot of TV and radio leakage into space. However, as we transition to communication by fiber optic or telecommunication satellite, this leakage is decreasing. Therefore, any advanced alien civilization that overhears Earthlings or reaches out to us must have been listening and transmitting for thousands or even millions of years. Otherwise, it's simply too likely that Earthlings and aliens will miss each other in the vastness of space and time. For now, the best hope is still searching for direct messages from aliens. Humanity has undoubtedly given some attention to how messages may be interpreted if aliens were sending them directly. The Arecibo message, was a 3-minute data broadcast of 1,679 bits sent to space from the Arecibo Observatory radio telescope in Puerto Rico in 1974. There are only two prime numbers, 73 and 23, that can be multiplied to get 1,679, according to Vakok, which should give an intelligent extraterrestrial a hint as to the message's dimensions. If they've figured out radio waves, they probably know something about math. Aliens could still be perplexed by the message's contents, but they would be able to recognize symmetrical shapes in the correctly pieced-together image, confirming their accuracy in doing so. Vakok stated, "We want to do anti-cryptography. We want to make a message that is as simple as possible to decode. The ideal message to space, according to Vakok, would also be anti-efficient. Rather than transmit data once in a small form, you'd want to make it redundant and lengthen the conversation so that your listener would have a way to check his or her or its work. And redundancy would also help correct for any transmission errors that might occur over long distances." The wonderful thing about the debate between Edward Snowden and Neil deGrasse Tyson is that it brings up the whole subject of information encoding and how and why we would wish to do that. There are SETI projects looking for flashing lights, whether visible spectrum or longer-traveling infrared. Radio isn't the only technique to locate aliens, though it remains the cheapest and most promising at the present. The Fermi paradox, named for the physicist Enrico Fermi, who first asked, "Where is everyone?" is a puzzle that arises from the fact that there have been no signals yet. In a galaxy packed with worlds, why isn't Earth crawling with alien visitors? In 1950. Since then, astronomers have proposed explanations ranging from sociology to biological complexity. Aliens might be afraid of us, or consider us unworthy of attention, for example. Or it may be that aliens communicate in ways that we can't understand, so we're just not hearing them. Or it may be that aliens lack communication capability of any kind. Or it may be that aliens are simply not there. Of course, there's also the possibility that there are no aliens. Some scientists, most notably Stephen Hawking, believe the answer to the bigger question, whether it's a good idea to find out, is a resounding no. But those queries don't address it. We only have to look at ourselves to see how intelligent life might develop into something we wouldn't want to meet, Hawking said in 2010. He likened encountering aliens to the encounter between Christopher Columbus and the Native Americans, which didn't turn out so well. Others have foreshadowed dire outcomes straight out of science fiction. Roving aliens that might come here and take advantage of the resources on Earth, the people, or perhaps end all life as we know it if they follow our message like a homing beacon. At the very least, the idea is morally dubious, according to physicist Mark Buchanan. Any civilization detecting our presence is likely to be technologically very advanced, and may not be disposed to treat us nicely, he said. We are a noisy species, and our messages have been making their way through the cosmos since the dawn of radio, according to other scientists, so they believe it's worth the risk, and they add, somewhat grimly, that it's too late anyway. The Voyager probe is outside the solar system in interstellar space, speeding toward a star 17.6 light-years from Earth. Even if we don't transmit a carefully planned message, we're already reaching for the stars. Of course, we have the right to be afraid of aliens based on our own actions. If they're anything like us, with a track record of ignoring the lives of people from other societies and civilizations, then our concerns are well-founded. So, what do you make of that? Thanks for watching another episode of Voyager. While you're still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more mind-blowing videos about space.